Hi, this is me on Wednesday check-in video. I woke up too early again. Woke up at 6-something, 6:15. The first time I woke up was either 3:15 or 3:45 in the morning. I have a job where I'm having to be at work at sunrise. An hour away from where the sun rises, in that place, in a different county. What was it yesterday? Maybe 6:20 something. I feel like yesterday maybe 6:30. It's probably getting into 6:20 something. It's really tiring. It's really hard to get up and go. I don't know. Oh, it's because I didn't go back to sleep after like 4 or 3:45 yesterday. No, I was supposed to wake up at. I thought I could have slept until 4:50 and then left at 5:20. Anyways, yesterday was weird because I had time to eat some almonds with all my condiments, take a shower, and wash my hair, and the water pressure is super low that I feel like I'm going to damage my hair by not getting the soap out. And I used the bar lavender or something bar soap. I haven't had time to do billing. I haven't had time to do my taxes. I haven't had time to pursue my self-employment, and the place I work part-time is usually 2 to 4 days a week. I applied for a similar position that's 40 hours a week, and I'm overwhelmed because I'm self-employed, and that amount of money is not enough to pay back my student loans, and it doesn't pay. It pays 1/10 or 1/20th per hour than I'm supposed to be making as a doctor, but I'm not making that as a doctor. I never have, unless I work an hour every 2 months or 2 hours. I haven't made it because the people that I've seen, their insurance wasn't covering me, and I had to go back and do the insurance on all that. And so I don't know. I need some time in an office. When they say it takes money to make money, imagine trying to do billing for your place and you have no working computer and you can't get on the internet. And because it's a patient, now a lot of this is really what happened to me. Because it's a patient, you cannot go to the library and start typing in the library computer. Maybe you can, one of my doctors is like, oh, who cares? Nobody's going to be paying attention to that. But I don't use someone else's device to do patient confidential stuff on their system. I don't know their security. I don't know if they're going to do background or what is it, passkey, whatever that's called, when you are able to see everything that the previous user did, whether keystrokes. I'm not going to be able to use their printer because the stuff gets saved on the printer. I'm not going to be able to use their fax. I mean, people do in urgent situations. I like to use the stuff that I have, so when I get rid of it, it's that the hard drive is stored or destroyed, wiped off. Like, even wiping stuff off doesn't permanently destroy. So anyways, I have people tell me don't worry about that, but I'm like, people try to say, wait, someone said, why do I have to follow HIPAA or protect PHI, personal health information, if they're cash-based clinic? They don't accept insurance. What is it? High tech, or what is it? The high tech something else. Something insurance, interoperability or something. I don't even remember what it means. Maybe high tech has something to do with that. Anyways, this lady had been in practice for like 10 years and is like, I never follow HIPAA guidelines because I don't accept insurance. And it scared me because I feel like if you own a clinic, you should follow HIPAA and follow PHI. And the only thing I thought was, oh, she might be clever. Maybe she doesn't need it. But I feel like if you have your stuff locked in a file cabinet or in a computer with a cloud, you need a password to get into the computer. You need a password to get into the cloud. You know what I mean? Any personal information on your phone, you're either going to wipe it off or also have password protection on all your devices, all your devices, if you have a office and you have desktops, lock them down, lock them down, put them in their laptops, I say laptops, desktops, lock them down with a chain to the heavy furniture, to the floor, something cement floor, I don't know. If you have laptops, lock them in a safe or something, protect this stuff from theft, from damage, flooding or something. I was pointing out the sprinklers or the person upstairs maybe their floor leaks or something. So anyways, there's all of this stuff. There's all this stuff thinking about just not needing a law or a government guideline to think that that's something straightforward or common sense, I guess the word. And the government guidelines could be, oh, you better do this, like OSHA. Oh, you better protect your place and your occupants and your workers. Like, yeah, we should do that. We should do that. If it says a splash hazard for your eyes, then you need to post that it's a splash hazard and give them, water shielding or fluid shielding goggles and other personal protective equipment. We shouldn't have to let people go without their own safety protection, not sending a lot of emails, and it's so silly. I never had a privacy screen. So if you were needing to go, say it's like a lounge, say you're in a clinic or hospital that you work at and you need to sit in a, practitioner only lounge, not like a lunchroom, and you need to hurry up and like send somebody a prescription, you have a privacy screen and nobody could see. It's like being at the bank. My daughter wouldn't be the driver and I'd be trying to figure out how she's going to either be in the back seat or get out of the car. She's asking me questions. Like, I can't see the screen. How do they do that? It's all blurry from my angle, There's an apartment complex right next to that. It's kind of creepy. Because I feel like you could probably see it straight on, right? Anyways. Maybe I'm being over protective of all that. Like, you want your stuff. You don't want your chart notes sitting out at McDonald's on a table while your practitioner goes to the bathroom and then goes outside to smoke and gets on a phone call and you come back and either it's gone or someone's flipping through it and, oh my God, they're talking about the governor and like taking pictures and putting something on the news about their STD transmission. Like, seriously, we got to think up here. As a student in medical school, we had to finish our charts, which, being a naturopath, the charts are more than 3 lines, written by a dot phrase, patient entered office, MA took blood pressure, patient had no questions, patient left, and it's like, why do they get paid the big bucks? We're like 7 pages later, we're still typing, the clinic's closed. We literally in med school had this office staff say, get out. It's like 5 minutes, the lights off, doors locked, like, to the whole group of us would be doing charts. And they used to have it where you could access it from a laptop or from your own computer because you're typing in Epic and you have Epic. What do you call it? You have your password login credentials and all that. And I said you should do that. But some student left their computer open or something in a coffee shop or something. This is the rumor. And because she did all that, I think there's 2 incidents. She left her computer in the coffee shop open and people could see it or someone reported it. And then I think another one, someone's computer Was it in a car and was stolen from the front seat or something? I don't know. I don't know how that could, because if they can get in your computer, they shouldn't be able, I was talking about back keystrokes, they shouldn't be able to get into your Epic, maybe if you had the login password saved on the device, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, before I started clinic, we lost the ability to do that, so we had to type. I'm going to tell you a story about disparity. There's these two blonde hair, blue-eyed students, and my teacher for my first clinic shift, or the first time I ever learned Epic, electronic health records, we had all of our classes, which is stupid. This is the most stupid thing. All your classes beforehand, you take charts on paper and you write chart notes, and we had like samples, stuff to ask each other more for our practical exams. Chief complaint, past medical history, social medical history, family medical history, history of current, HPI, history of present illness, date, patient name, it's not stupid, because learning it the primitive way makes it easier to understand where you're getting at when you're clicking around. You're thinking in your mind that tiered, so no, but these two white students, so my teacher would go upstairs and get ready for her next shift, because she had back-to-back shifts, so it's like 4 hours there, and then she had one upstairs she'd get ready for, and she'd leave us. I think there was 4 of us in that room, or 3 of us. I feel like there was only 3 computers. And every freaking week, every single week, I would be typing my chart notes, and these 2 students next to me would say, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? Blah, 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 blah. So not only are they distracting me from what I'm doing, I'm probably making errors, and I'm probably like, oh my gosh, it's time to go. The teacher has to close this down. Did I, cross all my T's, dot all my I's? Did I put everything in the right chart thing? Because it's really distracting when you're going over the computer, do this every single week. They never remembered what I told them. And when I got my review, my teacher said that I don't know how to use Epic, and that I needed a lot of training, a lot of learning to do, and like on and on and on and on. I was like, are you kidding me? She was not in the room. This happened to me so many times in med school. And I can probably bet you $100 that those 2 other students, the blonde students, probably got a really good pat on the back about how well their Epic skills were. And in real life, I was the one going over there doing their work. So I found this. You talk about Black Lives Matter and people getting shot. This stuff is on your permanent record, guys. So this is another thing Black people do, is that you do the work for someone else who gets the credit, and then you get told that you're incompetent, and that you're not. If you were to go get a job where you say, oh, well, how long have you been using Epic? I've been using it since that time. Oh, can we talk to one of your direct supervisors, on all of your skills and abilities? And, and they're going to pull up your evaluation and review and say, oh, they didn't know anything. They were stupid. They went in that shift 12 weeks. And these other people, I had, sometimes it's male and female, and able, disabled. I had this guy, we went and did our paper together on breeding animals, and we were on campus. There was no breeding animals. This guy was blind. I don't know if I could have met him somewhere. I'm not sure he was all the way blind or like 100% vision loss. I don't know. He was blind, and we wrote a paper together about animals breeding. So basically, we watched people flirting. So we didn't talk about birds. We could have made something up. We didn't talk about fish. We didn't talk about ants. We didn't talk about dogs. And I thought it was funny. I was like, she didn't say that we couldn't use humans as an animal. And he agreed with me. And the next week, he got an A on his paper, and I got like an F or a D on my paper. And we didn't copy each other. We didn't like type it together and print it up. But you know how those kind of papers are in like biology class, where you have it needs to be this long, it's like a page, it needs to talk about answer these questions. So we basically have the same questions answered the same way because we were partners, just our own words. And so I like failed, and he got a good grade. And I went to the teacher, who was a white woman, and I said, we are partners, we work together, we did the same thing. Why did I fail and he got an A on it? It's not like he was a better writer and it was a crappy topic for us to choose humans and he got a B minus and I got a C minus because my grammar was bad, or I mispronounced name or misspelled name. It's not like, oh, you said it was supposed to be 500 pages and yours was 300, so you're going to get a grade down. It was just like, we answer the questions, we follow the directions, and they go through a stack of 23 papers and they happen to give me a bad grade and give him a good grade. Do they even read the papers? Do you know what I mean? Do they even read? I had some other people lighter than me where they were doing plagiarism and all this stuff. And I swear to God, if you're smart enough to be a TA for the basic sciences, I feel like you have enough memory to realize that you're going to be like, this is interesting. I mean, this paper, deja vu. It's like, didn't I just read the same exact paper 3 minutes ago? Someone else's name on it. Like, my group mates and that were ordering tests and cheating. They were buying the homework from somebody else because it was a university. So there's not like, you have several different classes, several of the same class. If it's biology lab, you have several different sections with different TAs in different sections. So if they have a classmate who they're buying the paper from in a different lab class, we're all going to have the same questions and the right answers are all the same. Or if it's an observation or counting cells in a microscope, like the guy next to you might have 30 something and your group might have 40 something on question 1, you know what I mean? But it's going to be very similar answers. It's a variation based on the individual circumstances, but not like verbatim, like you're copying it from somebody. It just sucks. And I actually got in trouble in that class, and I actually got sexually assaulted in that class, and I actually had to retake that class. And because the lab, which sometimes is stupid, the lab was connected to the lecture, so it's like I passed the lecture, but I end up with a D overall because this guy called me an idiot, told me that I was a lot more stupid than I looked, and like all this stuff. And I got sick. He was grabbing my butt or rubbing on my butt when I was looking down in a microscope all alone. I should have reported this. It was like the Me Too culture. I came to that class for several weeks afterwards, and I thought I was going to throw up. I had been sexually assaulted before, and it's not an excuse to be assaulted if you were a drinker. If you used to drink, there's no excuse. But there was something that when I got sexually assaulted and raped when I was still drinking, it's like you dived farther into the bottle to cloud that PTSD associated with that, and with being sober, completely clean and sober. I was in the bathroom about to puke every single week. I had to get back to class. This group of these 2 guys and this other woman, they would start to experiment, pull out the stuff, and they're like, we're gonna leave. They said we're gonna buy the paper, so we're just gonna leave at, say it's a 3-hour lab. We're gonna leave exactly after, guy gives a lecture for half an hour. We'll pretend we're doing something for 35 minutes, and then we'll say we're finished. We'll go home, turn the homework in. And I said, I'm not buying the paper. I'm not gonna. The one lady is gonna buy the paper and pass it out between the rest of us, or we turn it in together, whatever we had to do. But they did it like that. And when you have a group of 4 people, you have 4 jobs. So if you're doing a fruit fly experiment or whatever, like someone's gonna get the little beaker, the little container with the food ready. Someone else is gonna go over to the teacher and stand in line and wait for the fruit fly. Someone else is gonna get a microscope out or magnifying glass out. Someone else is gonna take notes. Like just example. So you have 4 jobs. So in that 2-3 hour class, you working up to the end because you got 4 people working on. So because they left and didn't do any work, I did all 4 jobs. And I was the one to get the microscope and the magnifying glass and take the notes and go get the flies and make the little things so that they had something to eat or whatever, so they could breed. And this is a different experiment from a different school, but like you could look at their eye color and see do the Punnett square, the genetics. A red eye plus the red eye equals another red eye, baby. Like you try to count how many you started with and what the variations were. What is the Punnett square? Anyways, just too much information. People call me stupid, say I can't remember anything. This class I'm talking about, I took at Michigan State University in 1994 or 5. That class with the fruit flies and having to count their eyes and having to breed them for a week and this stuff. Like, people say I don't have a memory, that I'm not credible. I remember in lab, we used to clean the glassware or have it be cleaned before our experiments. And one thing I liked about it, which is kind of weird, is we rinsed everything in distilled water so that there was no trace of anything from the bottle or from the city water or, yeah, the tap water. There was no, like, minerals, there was no additives, there was no chlorine. You know, like, that's cool, guys. I just want to share that. And when I took lab classes later on, I don't remember anybody rinsing stuff in distilled water. We had distilled water, and I feel like we put it in a squeeze. We probably did do it in OChem, but we had a squeeze bottle. I don't think we did it with every single thing, because some stuff you really need it to be dry, you know. Anyways, I've had a lot of people call me stupid. Med school, they wouldn't let me study. The white students wouldn't let me study. I had someone who's Mexican American in my class, and she said there's a lot of racist teachers, so watch out. She goes, I don't know if it's racist or because it's like, she kind of had attitude. She knew she was like kind of really confident and kind of cocky and just quiet and smart and studious and all this. Like, people don't like that. Your person of color, people don't like that. Some white people don't like that. Some people of color don't like that, but you get like the people of color, or the white people have the power to lie and go to student services or to to the school administration, lie about you, or they can lie about your grade. Anyways, oh my god, I had years of this. This person said, be careful, you have this teacher. I don't know if they're racist or not. I had that teacher, and it was a horrible experience, and I just did busting my butt, and he saw me busting my butt, and he actually, like, huh? She's smart, she's intelligent, she's well prepared, she's creative, she does her work, she cares about it. She's not just doing this like, oh, I gotta do, we had a student that he actually would ace her and allow her to get honors, fake honors. She would verbatim just go to the library before school and photocopy or print up a peer-reviewed journal article and highlight it, and she used that as her freaking paper. She didn't not go home, last week and type something up, and I'd make all these color drawings of my kids' crayons and stuff. Like, I think I ended up throwing them away. I feel bad. I had like a stomach one, and I'd make collages and all kinds of stuff and PowerPoint presentations. This lady, like, literally would go to the library, print this stuff off, or photocopy it, highlight it, and then she would project it onto the screen and pass it around. Like, she'd pass it around with, like, these charts. And you're just, like, literally, like, anybody, a 3-year-old could go to the library and grab a magazine and photocopy it and staple it together and be like, here's my project, teacher. I just put my name on it. Like nobody bats an eyelash at the, no, I don't know if I said the right thing, but nobody bats an eyelash. Nobody bats an eye at them, but they'll grade me low. Anyways, this student said, hey, I got a study group. We make up study guides for all our tests. And some of these study guides were passed down from students that already graduated. So it's not like they were like, some of the stuff was just is in the library, like maybe the practice test and stuff, or the old tests and quizzes. Anyways, if you like paper, you can find a notebook. I don't know if they still have that in the med school, but it's not cheating. The teachers change the questions, but it gives you idea what question to ask for your first year medical school. Open, not open book, not like open-ended questions. You don't know. Kind of think about what they're gonna ask. Anyways, this lady says, "Hey, I got into this group. They don't want other people in there. I'm a Hispanic. They're not going to let you in this group, so don't even tell anybody that I'm talking to you." So I'm not saying who it is or what it was. And she's like, "I just want to give you some study tips and some study guides, but don't share it with anybody." I said, "Okay." So I'm not. Thank you. And it sucks to have another person of color say, "Ding, ding, 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 ding. I'm lighter skinned than you. I got in to this exclusive whites only. Ding, 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 ding. I'm a token. They will not accept you, but it's not fair." A lot of the students, we would go through study guides, or we'd have groups, and we'd come up with, like my kids' school, we'd come up with the answers and, send it out to each, do Google Doc, you do 1 through 10, you know what I mean? Sometimes the teachers assign you to do that in groups, which sucks when the other group members don't do their work. And then the teacher says, "Who's in this group? I congratulate you for all this work. I've written just like that other lab, done the entire report myself, and the people didn't participate." And then the teacher congratulated the blonde hair, blue eyes, said, "Good job, good job." And she looked at me, and I was raising my hand, and that she could have said, "Hey, Mia over there actually did that part of the paper." And that teacher had the audacity to fail me after saying that this was the best paper he'd ever seen, and to have this skinny, blonde hair, blue eyed girl smile and say, "Yeah, that was me." In class, she stood up. And I was sitting here like, "Wait, I wrote that paper. These people did not do their work. They gave me excuses. Oh, I'm on vacation." I'm like, "Dude, we had a week to work on this, and this is like a huge part of our grade." Like, I was like, "I'm just gonna do it. Like, do it, print it, turn it in." Like, oh my God. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe it, guys? To have your work stolen from under you, have them rewarded, and have you not have the ability to. These people cheat. This lady that I'm talking about, she used to cheat. She used to get her Scantron. She used to look at the person next to her and erase the answer, and she would put the right answer, and she'd say, "Oh, I have a heavy hand. I erased this during the test, but the Scantron reader must have still read the old answer." She said that every week to all these different teachers that they catch on. You would say, "I'm waiting in line trying to see what I did wrong on my test. I'm probably the one who I had a habit of erasing stuff and smearing stuff with my left hand. You write a Scantron and you're left-handed, and it smears the carbon all over the place. Good grief. Something's weird going on out there. I am serious, guys. You gotta go to the teacher and tell them, "This lady's not legit." They're like, "You do not talk to me. How dare." They'll say, "How dare." This happened to me at Michigan State. "How dare you compare your grades? There's none of your business what they're doing." Like, this lady got all F's on all her papers. I got all A's. You gave her an A and you gave me a D minus. We passed the papers out to each other in the group. We sit next to each other. I hand her paper twice a week every day a week. We had a paper due, and every day a week I could see that she failed. Like, they said, "How dare you?" And you go to HR, you go to ombudsman or whoever. They say, "Well, if the teacher thinks you deserve a D minus, then you deserve." And yeah, it's not your job. I was like, "What about racism?" "Oh, this is Title VII. We only deal with if they're gonna judge you because if you're gay." I'm like, Title VII ain't gay. It's like, nobody has to know you're gay. Nobody, like, you can go to school transgender and nobody knows you're transgender. You could go to school being Latino, Asian, mixed Asian, black. How am I supposed to hide that? Would it judge me And every other black person that was there a year or more before I was there comes up to me and says, I know exactly why you're crying at the mailbox when you look at your grade. Because you know you passed, you know you studied, and you know they failed you. Then you know they threw out your test. You know their stupid grader made a grading error. You know their grader is their friend or their roommate. Because a lot of times the graders are students 1 year above us. And they're not going to give their buddies they go to the bar with a D or F. You see so many scribbles in the test. I mean, I threw my Scantrons out. Guys, I wish I did save them. You see the scribbles. Me, I got a 97 on this test. Ooh, but we're going to change it to a 65. You share, you compare. Even my one friend, she was getting honors in all her classes, and I went and looked. She's like, go get my test stuff out of my locker. I said, okay. And I went and got her test stuff. She had lower scores than me. And the teacher gave her honors. And I called the teacher and said, I want the honors project. And she said, you don't have a high enough grade for the honors project. So I got higher test scores than my friend. And the quizzes, they were group quizzes. So we got the same grades on the quizzes. And the teacher said, you don't, and I was like, you only need a 90 or higher. I got well more than 90. And my friend was offered to do the honors project, and I wasn't, and she gets lower grades than me. I think that one day I was absent. I don't know. That happened one other time. I was supposed to get honors in a class, and I said that I was late one day. You can't be late. I wasn't late. I had gone into class, and I had an emergency with my son, so I was outside the class for like 1 minute after the class started. So it's technically I was like, I had to go take a phone call, and it was like, I cannot let med school cause my kid to die from health issues. Oh my god. So this teacher, all these people are younger than me. She looked like straight out of the KKK, Grand Wizards, like direct family line, like, heck no. Did I have her on shift one day? I hope not. Oh, heck no. I like that lady though, but I'm just telling. Sometimes people look at you with that eye, like those white people that look at you like, no, you can get nothing. If you're white, you get something. If you're black, So I'm gonna make another video and post this one.